Get ready for the show, it's about to begin. Pro fan talk when we dive right in. Sports talk, hot takes, ain't nothing we lack. We the real fans, nothing holding us back. Mic check, 1, 2, y'all know the drill. We bringing the energy, keep it real. Touchdowns on liquid air, on the slam dunks on the court. Every sport, every game, we holding down the fort. We breaking down the plays, dissecting the stats. Pro fan talk, we keeping it fat. Debating with passion, no filter, no doubt. We the voice of the fans, we scream and we shout.
What's going on, good people? Happy Thursday to you. Welcome to the Pro Fan Talk. We are in the building. Ladies and gentlemen, what's good? Carlos, first out the limo. Kev, as usual. What's happening? 2 weeks away from draft night. Absolutely. Absolutely. We getting there. We getting closer. We getting closer. Every day is another day. Every day is another day. What's up, Quentin? Every day is another day closer to the draft. They still speculating. There's still a lot of stuff going on. Moves being made. We're gonna talk about Terrace Marshall today. We picked up a number 3 or 4 receiver. I'm good with that. Somebody that's a veteran, get in there, know what they need to do. No fuss, no muss. We don't need to make a big deal about it, but I think that's a good, solid veteran signing. Somebody's been around for a minute, but not an older vet. I think Terrace Marshall is what, 27, 28 years old? I could be wrong. But yeah, it's I liked it. Just something to do, just a spot to fill, and you got somebody. He's only 24. Lord have mercy. I thought he was like 26, 27 years old. Damn. Okay. This is his what, 5th year? Okay, 6'2", 201. Why did I think he was 1, 2, 3, 4? So we are going into, okay, this is his 4th year. Gotcha. Okay, this is his 4th year. And he's only 24, so wow. Okay, I'm good with that. I'm good with that. I thought he was a little bit older. I guess that's what I get. That's what you get for thinking. That's what you get for thinking. What's going on, Tiffany? You know what? I haven't seen much Abdul Carter talk, honestly. Not up this way. Quentin, I don't know where you are, but I'm in the Philadelphia, South Jersey area. So we're not talking about, we talk about Abdul Carter because he's from Penn State, but that's as far as it goes. We know we're not getting him. So we don't even worry about it like that. Kev says, as a Commanders fan, I don't know what to do on draft night. Give me some tips on being excited about day one when you have draft, when you draft in the 3rd hour. Y'all don't have a top pick? I don't know what's the order? What's the order? I don't know what the let me see, they're going through it. Let me pause. I'm not even gonna keep this one. I just want to see the order. Titans, Browns, Giants, Patriots, Jags, Raiders, Jets, Panthers, Saints, Bears. So you guys are pick 19. And this particular mock draft, y'all got Michael Williams, the edge from Georgia. So I don't know. It depends on, I mean, fans are going to look at it from one way. Ownership, management is going to look at it from a different way. They're going to get guidance from what the coaches want, what the GM is looking for, what the GM thinks the coaches need, all of that type of stuff. That's why it's so important that your GM is a legit football guy like Howie Roseman. That's why that matters. Your coach and your GM need to be in lockstep. They need to be in stride, going in the same direction. Because the GM is responsible for the money and the coach is responsible for the wins. And if the wins ain't coming, that GM is going to get fired and the coach is going to get fired. So everybody's job is up in the air. Everybody's job is up in the air. So yeah, man, I had that Micah for those of you who wasn't on the show yesterday. Let me see, I can go back to it. This was the mock draft. When I tried to run the mock draft, this is what it gave me. It wanted to run a trade. This was my first time doing the trades. And the first trade I got offered was the Dallas Cowboys wanted my second round pick for Micah Parsons. So I thought that was funny. But yeah, man, it's a lot of stuff. A lot of times is you guessing, and these things don't know each other. They don't know what's going on. So, but it is funny. Yeah, for real, Quinn, let's leak that. Leak that to Ian Rappaport. I'm with you on that one. Go ahead and do it. Put it out there. Put that out there. Go ahead. I ain't mad at you. They report everything else, whether it's true or not. So why not? If we get consistent production for the 3 players we traded for the next 2 years, I'm not tripping. I have as much trust in Peters as Eagles fans do in Roseman. Okay. That's fair. That's your guy. He got you Jaden Daniels. So we'll see. We'll see. But we're going to get into this a little bit. And the main topic I have is some of the comments that Brandon Graham said today. Some of his comments, well, really it's just the main one, where he was saying that he was, what do you say, 90%? Let me see if I'm going to try to play it for you. Last time I tried to play this, the audio didn't come out very well. I'm going to try it again. Turn this up. All right, hold on. I'm going to try to do this. Hopefully it'll do it right. All right, let's see if this will work. This was the exact comment from the show.
Hopefully you catch it and take it to the house.
Yeah. How retired are you?
I'm 90% retired. I'm 90%.
So that's pretty much all he said. That 90%. And I wanted to talk about that because I heard, let me see if I can find that. Then I heard Hugh Douglas. He was on WIP today and he was talking about it. So let me see if I can find his stuff. I gotta try to get Hugh on the show. I gotta put that out there. See if I can get him on the show. Let me see if I can find it. Now watch, I ain't gonna be able to find it. Now it's here we go. All right, hold on. There we go.
It's always going to be there, but you need to.
Hope y'all can hear that.
You know, and I know that for us fans, we don't want to see it because he was a hell of an Eagle. But BG has had a storybook career.
Yeah.
He went from being a bust to the greatest Eagle that has ever put on this uniform. And I say that with full sincerity.
Can y'all hear that?
To ever play in this uniform.
I'm hoping y'all can hear that.
He's the longest. And he's won 2 Super Bowls. There's nothing left for you to do but taint your legacy. And what I mean by that is because, BG, people look at you, and you know what they remember about you? They remember the 2-sack game you had with the Rams. They remember the.
Yeah, I got to work on that audio thing because sometimes it's low, sometimes it's good. But in any case, BG said he was 90% on K Adams show, and Hugh on his soliloquy on WIP, he was saying like, don't do that. Like you had a storybook ending. You can't get any better than that. You battled back from a season-ending injury. Your team went to the Super Bowl. You got back on the field, played, contributed. You just wasn't on the sideline. You contributed, won a Super Bowl, your second chip. Announced your retirement, and you walked away. Walked away. And I mean it exactly like that. Because what Hugh was, one of the points he was making is most of us that play this game, we don't walk away. The game spits us out. And I think that's what Big Hugh was talking about. You gotta quit the game because of an injury. Your knee won't get right. Your hip won't get right. Look at what would have been arguably the best running back ever to play in the NFL in Bo Jackson. If Bo Jackson doesn't get hurt, in my opinion, he's going to end up one of the best running backs to ever play the game. Hands down. Hands down. He was too big and he was too fast. He was as big as Herschel, just as strong, but faster and had better moves, was quicker. Bo Jackson was a freak. The way we looking at Jalen Carter right now, that was Bo Jackson when he came out. Bo knows football. But I'm saying that even somebody as great as Bo was, when he took that crazy step and jammed his hip, you didn't think that was going to end his career. It ended his career. He had to switch to baseball, and you saw how good he was at baseball. And he had to get up out of that too. So when you're talking about walking away from the game, he mentioned Jason Kelsey walking away from the game, Brian Dawkins walking away from the game, which means when you were 31 years old and you got a torn knee or a torn tricep and you rehab it and get back on the field in the same season, that is a season-ending injury. Do not get it twisted. You are playing a position where you must use your hands in a physical and violent way. And you've torn your tricep. And you rehab it and you get back on the field and you play in the Super Bowl and you contribute. They didn't put you on the field just to say, hey, we're doing you a favor. You contributed. That's the mind thing right there. A lot of vets get on a team. A lot of people, like I use the example when Ndamukong Suh and Linval Joseph signed with us 2 years ago when we lost the Super Bowl in 22. They ring chasing. They've been in the game a long time, and they ring chasing. I think Ndamukong Suh won a Super Bowl somewhere else. It's escaping me right now. But Linval Joseph, I don't think, ever got a ring. But at least he can say he got to the Super Bowl, though. But you ring chasing, and Brandon Graham didn't have to do that. Brandon Graham was responsible for the first ring. What's up, Function? Yeah, I think he's gonna stay retired. BG was partially responsible for the first ring. He contributed. He just wasn't on the team. He just wasn't playing special teams. He wasn't a rah-rah game, a rah-rah guy during the games with the street clothes on on the sideline. He contributed greatly. He was a captain. So to be able to walk away on your own strength, to be able to walk away. Yes, I remember Marcus Dupree. But, and I think that's what Big Q was talking about with BG. You are in a rare situation because maybe you talking about the top 1% of the top 1%. Because if you make it to the NFL, you are in the top 1% of your athletic class, regardless of sport. Baseball, football, basketball, hockey, tennis, whatever. Whatever you play in high school, only less than 1% of all athletes in high school going into college, less than 1% make it to the show. So I always would tell people I'm in the top 1% of my class. But when you get to that point, number one, when you win the Super Bowl, and then you win 2, and then you retire, and your last year you win the Super Bowl, and you get to walk away from it. When you ready to, that's less than, that's the top 1% of the 1%. It does not happen often. Does not happen often. So it's a very rare thing. And to be honest with you, when I heard the comments and I watched the whole interview, the whole conversation, I don't think he was serious. I think she took it as a joke, and she do what hosts do. She's the cute girl, so she gonna laugh it up and all of that type of stuff. But I don't think that for 1 minute she believed that he was actually contemplating coming back. But that becomes a topic of conversation, so you run with it. That's what we do now. When we get something that's hot, breaking news, you try to run with it. But honestly, I don't think BG is coming back. I just think this is a talking point for people like me on the radio, creating content, all of that type of stuff. But it is a very interesting question, especially for those of us who actually played. When do you walk away? I was not blessed to have a long career like that. I always tell people I had a cup of coffee in the league, but it's my cup of coffee. I got spit out in other ways. The politics, the BS, and in scenarios, and some people make it, most people don't. So to be able to walk away, I tell people all the time, and I'm not ashamed to say it like this. My biggest regret when I stopped playing football, I wish I would have immediately got into coaching. Immediately. I will tell anybody that's playing, if you playing pro sports, semi-pro sports, whatever, as soon as you get done playing, get into coaching, because you just don't cut that love of the game off. And at that particular time, I didn't know what to do with that. It was a bad situation for me. It left a bad taste in my mouth, how it happened for me. I still love football, but the way it ended for me, it left a very bad taste in my mouth. So you go through these mental gymnastics. Me and Urban talked about this. You go through these mental gymnastics of what you think people think of you, and it doesn't matter. And you have to go through that process. But to be in a situation like him, where you can walk away from the game, have your press conference, do all of that type of stuff. Look at Fletch. Fletch didn't even really, he couldn't really even, he gave a conversation after the Tampa Bay game, and then some things happened. You know what I mean? So even Fletch, it didn't, as long as he was with the Eagles and everything that he contributed, his wasn't like BG's. Was BG's walk away better than Jason Kelsey's? Jason Kelsey was tugged on the heartstrings, a lot of boo-hooing, a lot of tears, all of that type of stuff. BG's was just as powerful, but because both of them, it fit their personality to a T. You already know Jason Kelsey is an emotional dude. BG is an emotional dude, but in a different type of way. So his energy is different. It was tears and some stuff, but it manifested in him a hell of a lot different than it did with Jason Kelce. So you don't, you take what you can get, but if you can write your own script, if you can be in a situation where you can write a speech and they call a press conference and everybody shows up, that's the other thing. Everybody shows up. The room is packed because you know what's coming. Because he's the type of player everybody pays attention to. How many other times do you see now? The thing is, you got a lot of young players that retire early, 28, 29, 30 years old. They done already made more money than they'll ever spend in their lifetime. They good. They good. They got 30 mil, 40 mil, 50 mil in the bank. They good. They don't have to play till they 35, 36, 37 years old. So you know what? They fall back early. Now everybody got a podcast, so they're making money off of that. Now they can spend time with the family, like BG said, he watching his son play baseball, things of that nature. And by the time BG's little girl is 10, 11 years old, flag football is going to be everywhere. So that's another avenue that nobody thought of back then. Just another way which you can watch now you can watch your daughters following your footsteps. That never existed before. It's only been the last 10 years, maybe, then we really started recognizing having women as coaches. We always had women as trainers, not as coaches. That's a rare thing. Now you coming up with the players, and then they got the professional women's leagues and all of that type of stuff. And some of the stuff is crazy. They got the risque stuff with the lingerie league and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, they're playing ball because they want to. And we already know, because I've been in enough meetings with the NFL to know that this is a real thing and this is going to happen. There will be a women's professional flag football league. Yes, there will. It's coming. I don't know when it's coming. It'll be here in less than 10 years. I know that. They already pushing it. Flag football is already a varsity sport in some colleges, and every year it grows, and every year the NFL pumps it more and more and more. And there's a lot of girls playing. And there's one thing that I know, if girls are playing it, people are going to support, because daddies are going to support their little girls, and women spend more money than anybody else when it comes to buying merch. It's a match made in heaven as far as the NFL is concerned. There will be a professional flag football league. It's already coming. Why do you think they put flag football in the damn Pro Bowl? Stop playing. Pay attention. I should bring on my twin for a show. Nah, she don't want to come on camera. She don't want to come on camera. We've had that conversation. My twin is a teacher down in Atlanta, and I'm trying to get her to start a cast with her experience as teaching, but she don't want to do that. So we're not gonna do that. But there's other reasons that I'm not gonna get into. But yeah, she don't want to deal with that right now. But I appreciate it though, because all my sisters are the shit. I got a twin sister and an older sister. Me and all my siblings are all state champions. My oldest sister was a state champion in track. My twin sister was a state champion in basketball. I'm a state champion in football. My twin sister got in the high school Hall of Fame before I did. So, yeah, the money's different now too. Good point, Tiff. Good point. Good point. Because now we are past the point where how many people you bring in the venue matters so much. It used to matter because you didn't have 8 million cable channels. Now it doesn't matter as much. And yes, the ticket revenue still means a lot, but not as much as the merch, because you'll spend more money online than you will at the concession stand. That's why they charge so much at these venues because they keep raising the prices and people keep buying it. And then you got other, competitions and stuff like that. Look at this stuff. Um, what's it called? Where they play the baseball, Banana League, the Banana League baseball. Banana League baseball, that's the stuff where I look at that and I'm like, damn, why didn't I think of that? Because that looked like something that you would do in college with a bunch of your drunk friends. Y'all went out and went to the baseball diamond and drank some beers and decided to have a game after everybody was drunk. And that's what they came up with, doing dances. And somebody went in the truck and they had the big speakers in their car, so they turned the music up loud and they all start dancing. That's what the Banana Baseball League looks like. And they packing out everywhere they go. And I've watched a couple videos with the guy that created it and the stuff that he was trying to do. And it's a fan friendly. They catering to the customers. If you at a game and you catch a foul ball, then the batter is out. You can end the game like that. If the batter hits a foul ball and the person in the stands actually catches it, they're out. Silly stuff like that. I just saw it the other day. It happened. The batter hits the ball down third baseline. It's out of bounds. The fan catches it. So the game is over and all of the team goes crazy. They jumping up and down because they won the game. They go get the guy out of the stands and they bring him on the field and they start jumping and dousing him with water and all that kind of stuff. And they made him part of the experience. Stuff like that, man. Crazy stuff. But it's all about catering to the fan. It's all about catering to people that want to see it and trying to find a way to do something different. One of the things that I talk about on my podcast, you see all of that stuff going on in the background, people walking by, all of that type of stuff. You guys already know graphics is my jam. So what do? I put together a package and I got real people walking in the background. I want to do something different to attract more. I'm trying to grow this channel. I got to do something different that nobody else is doing. This is how I'm doing it. Brandon Graham, back to him, went on a rant there, but he has the opportunity, or he has taken the opportunity to walk away on his own merit. And I'm sure he'll be on somebody's podcast. I saw him on New Heights, but I'm talking about he going to get his own stuff, or maybe they waiting for him to come to WIP and he can name his price. Because if he gets on the mic, people will listen, period. And it all comes back to the same thing. It all regurgitates back to the same formula. If people listening, advertisers will pay. If advertisers will pay, the money that you can make is unlimited. It's the same thing with baseball. It's the same thing with football. It's the same thing with the NBA. The WNBA is about to find this out in a couple of months. So it's the same thing. When you have somebody that people want to watch, I don't care who it is. It has nothing to do with how good you are as a player. You could argue that there are a lot of defensive ends that are a hell of a lot better than Brandon Graham. And Brandon Graham is pretty good. But it has nothing to do with how good he is as a player. It helps. But the biggest thing is his personality. When I go to alumni days and I see Brandon Graham, I want to take a picture with him. I got a couple pictures with him. But when you around that, when we go to the alumni games, and don't get it twisted. I'm standing with Hall of Famer Harold Carmichael and Joe Paglia and Irvin Fryer and Barrett Brooks and Eagles greats, right? But we still fans because we got to stay behind the rope like everybody else. Yeah, we signing autographs, but we getting autographs too. We getting selfies with the players and all of that type of stuff. And when Brandon Graham steps on the field, it's like a magnet. It's like a magnet. When Saquon Barkley steps on the field, magnet. When I go to alumni practice at Nova, and all we do is just sit down, watch practice, and we sitting back there. I was sitting with it was me. I was sitting with Jameer Nelson. Me, Jameer Nelson, and what's his name? Clark, the guy on the news. I was about to say Ryan Clark, but not Ryan Clark. Um, what's the guy on NBC? I forget what his first name is. His last name is Clark. I'm standing with him, um, and Barrett Brooks, John Clark. Thank you, Cody. John Clark. So it's me, Jameer Nelson, John Clark, and Barrett Brooks. And we just sitting there watching practice. And then we start connecting, like, he got to do a bit better. So now it's like we watching film. Me and Barrett is like, ooh, we watching things happen and we reacting like players. But it's that same thing. You there, and you even in that environment, and you got the public there. So we're signing autographs to the public. But like I said, if Jalen Hurts walked by, I'm trying to get a picture. Saquon, I got a picture. I'm trying to get a picture. So I'll tell everybody. My little wallpaper, me and Saquon at practice. So you got some people that just attract at every level. Brian Dawkins is one of those people. He just attracts people. Even the guys at the highest level that are currently in the league. Let Brian Dawkins show up to a place. And this is before he got his gold jacket. Don't get it twisted. This ain't the gold jacket makes it even bigger, but he had that type of attraction before he got into the Hall of Fame. There's just some people like that. Brandon Graham is one of those people. And let me reiterate. I don't think that Brandon Graham is going to come out of retirement. I don't think so. If he comes out of retirement, that will be a complete shock to me. I don't think he's going to do it. I think he's happy where it is. He went off perfectly. And you know what? He's the type of dude spending time with his kids and all of that type of stuff. He's that dude. And now he's getting a chance to do it. He'll still come, work out in the locker room, still be on the sideline, all of that type of stuff. I think he's going to end up being a player's coach, in my opinion. The only thing I don't think he is because he just got over it. He got to spend time with the family. He gonna start getting it in with them kids. And even if you are a coach, that means you got to be up at 5 a.m. You got to be at the stadium. You got to go to practice. You got to watch film. And so you got that routine like you did when you played. So you ask, like, why is Jason Kelce not doing that? Because Jason Kelce got a whole bunch of other things that he need to be doing right now. Wife just had another baby. They got their podcast. And Jason Kelce is smart. Jason Kelce got the world on lock, and he doing everything from home. He ain't got to go nowhere. He do his little late show right here in Philadelphia. He do New Heights. That ain't nothing but a podcast. He's sitting in his office like I'm sitting in my office. He ain't got to leave the house if he don't want to. And when they want to travel and when they want to do their thing, they can do their thing. Hopefully they don't go to no more restaurants where the women try to fight them and all that type of bullshit. But you understand what I'm saying. You understand what I'm saying. So it's a lot of people that wish they had it like Brandon Graham. And I'm talking about people that are still in the league or they already retired. And you can look at people that had a great career and they still didn't walk out of it like Brandon Graham did. So, Brandon Graham is very, very fortunate. Not too many people get a chance to do it like he's done it. And he's lucky. And his die is cast. I don't know if he'll be Hall of Fame. I don't know if he'll be NFL Hall of Fame. You already know he's going to the Eagles Hall of Fame. That's a no-brainer. But I'd have to check his numbers. I don't know if he'll be good enough to get into the NFL Hall of Fame, but he would be in the consideration. He would be in the conversation. So we'll see. But it's interesting how that works. Did I ever want to smash a dumb fan's phone like Boss Jason did? Nah, I never found myself in a situation like that. My name wasn't big enough. My name wasn't big enough. But that kid had it coming. That kid had it coming. And this in this day and age, and the stuff that they have to deal with social media, you got people that will try you on purpose. When I came up, most people, you wasn't trying to fight. Now these people are looking for it because they. I do remember. So here's the story. I can't even remember to tell you what club I was in. I don't remember if I was in Philadelphia, if I was in Atlanta. I can't remember where I was. I was in a club, a nightclub. Had to be here in Philly somewhere. Maybe down at the Aztec, what used to be called the Aztec, down there where they shot the DJ Cool videos and all that stuff. Do y'all even remember DJ Cool? Am I getting too old on you? But anyways, here is the deal. I'm in the club. I didn't drink, right? So if guys went out with me, they know I was the driver because I don't drink. And I hear dudes next to me. Music playing, DJ, all of that type of stuff. People know we here. People know down on the strip, you either got nightclubs or strip clubs. So they know there's a bunch of pro players. Eagles are down there. The Sixers are down there. Some of the Phillies probably found their way down there. They had just built the Dave and Buster's down that way. So a lot of pro athletes was down there. You was walking distance to South Street. So you get the vibe, right? So I overhear a conversation like, yo, ain't that play for the, yo, this what we gonna do. I'm gonna bump into you. And you gonna make me spill my drink on them. And I'm gonna try to cause a little ruckus. And maybe we can get paid out of this. People are scandalous. And they will try to touch you like that. DJ Cool. I don't even Bahama Bay. That was the club that they shot that video in. That they recorded that song in, and then they shot the video down there. Yeah, down there at Bahama Bay. Yep. Let me clear my throat. DJ Cool. Yeah, but it's people are scandalous. I'll just leave it at that. People are scandalous. People will get with you and won't tell you the whole situation. You know, you saw a couple years ago when they broke into Fletcher's house. And Fletch got a gun. And he was like, "You better come get him because I'm gonna blow a hole in his face." People are scandalous, and now they got this whole thing. The NFL had to put a memo out. Make sure your house is secured during away games because everybody knows who you are, everybody knows where you live, and everybody knows your schedule. The NFL had to put a memo out because of that. That's how scandalous people have gotten. They will do whatever they can to try to steal your shit. And they don't care if they helping you or not helping you, but if they trying to hurt you in the process, they don't care. They trying to get that money. That's what it comes down to. They trying to get that money, and you are in the way. You are a target. You are a target. Smartest thing Jalen Hurts did was go ahead and get married. Somebody he'd have been with for a while. They know each other. She know what it is. She ain't no dummy. She's adding value to his. She don't make that type of money, but she adding value to his piece. She ain't one of these females that's hanging around the stadium and stuff like that because it's like that. And people are scandalous. One of the funniest situations I've ever been in. I was at a game. I was at the 4th and 26 game. I was at the 4th and 26 game. Freddie Mitchell's catch and all of that stuff, right? I was there as a guest with one of my buddies. I think I was there with my buddy Frank Lazar. Shout out to Frank Lazar. He's a cameraman for the NFL and NBA and all professional sports. He's one of them dudes that's up on top of the stadium with a camera. He's one of them dudes. But anyways, when I would go to Frank would get me credentials like I was one of the production guys. But they knew it was like, hey, it's my friend. He used to play for the Eagles. Can you sit him down somewhere so he can watch the game? So this particular time at the game, it was me and this guy. I can't remember his name. He played for the Philadelphia Phantoms. So they put us up in the Fox booth. So it's Troy Aikman and Joe Buck in the Fox booth broadcasting the game. And if you've seen that setup, they got a fake background. They're at an open suite, so they open the door so you can hear some of the crowd and stuff like that. So they're getting hit with the elements. That's why a lot of time they got jackets on and coats and stuff like that, because it's cold up there. They got to leave the windows open, right? So think of it like this. So just imagine you in your living room, and there you got a big green screen that comes down from the ceiling, and it literally divides the room. And that's the green screen that they stand in front of when they talking. So behind that green screen was about maybe 4 to 5 feet of space. So they put 2 small chairs there, and me and this dude from the Philadelphia Phantoms, that's where we watched the game. Literally, we are less than 3 feet from Troy Aikman, live. And they told us, you can't make noise. You can't cheer. You can't jump up and down because they're right there. Now, if something would have happened, they got engineering that they can dumb the sound back there, and they got ways to handle that. But when you got to know where you are, and they got to trust you to be like, oh, we good. You know, we ain't kids. So long story short, we watched the game, the 4th and 26 play. Everybody goes crazy. And we're leaving the stadium. And the amount of grown women, and I'm talking about women with kids and pushing strollers, and when I tell you throwing themselves at Troy Aikman was the funniest thing I'd ever seen in my life. The funniest. If that would have happened in a movie, you'd have been like, that ain't even believable. It don't happen like that in real life. But it was. It was the craziest thing. And I'm saying all that to say, back to the original point of, people are scandalous. People are scandalous. To be in that situation, you don't know what they're going to do. There's always somebody, security's around or something like that now. But back then, it wasn't like that. I mean, at that particular time, we had security, so wasn't nobody going to do nothing stupid. But just the fact that you had women pushing strollers that were just, it was like a high school musical when Troy Aikman was around, taking pictures with him, hugging on him, wanting to kiss him, all of that type of stuff. And they just folks got scandalous. Now just imagine that same type of energy and somebody don't like you. All of that type of stuff. Yeah, I heard about that too with Richard Sherman. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, dog, Kev, you said the Nicholas ones? 3 times dope? What? 3 times dope, tough crew, my part of town? Come on, son. Lords of the Underground? This is how we rock? I believe they were frat too. I believe they was alphas. Lords of the Underground. I think they went to Temple, but I know they was from Philly. So yeah, man, I'm down. You been 3 times dope on me, dog. Damn. Das Effects wasn't from Philly though. Das Effects wasn't from Philly. But I did like Das Effects though. Das Effects came out when I was in college. I remember that. Remember them days, man. But yeah, man. Back to the original point. People are scandalous, and BG in the situation that he's in, he's in a good situation where you got to worry about that, but you ain't got to worry about that. You ain't got to worry about that. Yeah, Tiff, I'm old school. I'm an OG. I graduated high. I like to tell people I graduated college before Windows 95 existed. Before they existed. Schoolie D, Stetsasonic, Houdini, 5 Minutes of Funk, all of that. I had License to Ill, the album, where you unfolded the album and the jet turned into a joint. I had that. I had that. I bought LL Cool J's first album. It wasn't a CD. It was either a 12-inch or a cassette. I bought the album. Yeah, we can go. We can go there. We can go there. Listen, I was around. Carlos, you joking? You joking? But let me tell you something. This is when I was telling you about the graphics and all that kind of stuff. I've always been a relatively artistic person. I used to draw when I was little. Wasn't very good, but I was always good at it and trying to do it, and I was decent. I was always messing around with computers. My dad bought me and my sister an Apple IIe computer, and I programmed a video game in BASIC in 1985. I was always into adventure games. My Uncle David, before he passed away, when I was young, my Uncle David got me into video games. My Uncle David had a Atari computer, and I used to play Iliad and the Odyssey on there and the Golden Fleece. And I used to play all of them adventure games where you had to map which way you were going. And I was at the beginning. Zork 2, Zork 3, text-based adventure, all of that stuff, man. Hard Hat Mac. Oregon, I hated the Oregon Trail, man. Dysentery, bro. I played that one time and I was like, nope. Listen, I took a programming class in high school, Fortran programming. I'm all the way back, bro. People say, what was your favorite game console, Atari or in television? I'm like, yo, I'm before that. I'm Magnavox. Stop playing with me, son. Carlos, everybody died from dysentery, bro. Everybody died from it. That's why you couldn't finish the damn game. But yeah, man, I was into all of that, man. I'm old school, bro. ColecoVision, Atari 2600, Atari 4200. Had the computer games. We used to go to the computer store where people made the games and they would sell them as independent contractors at the store, and they had to draw the art for the game and then go to the library and photocopy it, Xerox it, and then put it in a big sandwich bag and zip lock it, and then they sold the disc, the little 5 1/4 floppy, the instructions on how to play the game, what the game was about, and they put it all together. And people did that back in the day. You didn't have to have a deal. You didn't have to be signed with Bungie making something like Destiny, or it was different, man. Pitfall. I played Pitfall back in the day, bro. Burger Time. Yep. All of that, man. Tempest, Battle Zone. Y'all remember the Battle Zone in the arcades? And it had the thing you could look through, and then it would make your face break out because as a kid, you didn't care. You just wanted to play Battle Zone. You didn't give a damn about all of the hundreds of people that was sweating in it before you got there. So you get all of the bumps on your head, and your mom be like, where you get them bumps from? That's why. That's why. Track and field. They used to take a popsicle stick and glue 2 ping pong balls and put it on both buttons and tap it in the middle, and that would make you break the world record in the 100-yard dash and the long jump. Don't play with me, man. Don't play with me. Back in the day, bro. Back in the day. I'm before cartridges, man. I'm before cartridges. But man, just as I say, man, it's a couple things that I will go down a rabbit hole. Barbecue, video games, cartoons, old school cartoons. Still a fan to this day. My wife will come in here and she'll just look at me and be shaking her head. I will be in here on YouTube watching um, an original episode of Johnny Quest, or one of the original episodes of Scooby Doo, or one of the funniest um, cartoons. One of the funniest cartoon characters that nobody watched it was a cartoon back in the day called Clue Club, and it was back in, everybody had a mystery group that was teens in high school, and they had a dog. Well, this one had two dogs. It was a little bit more grounded in reality, but they had two dogs named Wolfer and Whimper, and that was the funniest shit I've ever seen in my life. The conversation between them two dogs was hilarious. You think I'm lying? Go on YouTube and look up Clue Club, and then look up Wolfer and Whimper, and just listen to the conversation. To this day, I will laugh out loud. I will laugh out loud. One of my all-time favorite cartoons is the Herculoids, Space Ghost and the Herculoids. Man, what I tell you, man, I wasn't trying to go through that rabbit hole, bro. Death Stranding, yeah, Death Stranding, man. I played Death Stranding. Somebody asked me about that, and I had to tell them, I was like, yes, it is a walking simulator, but it's addicting. It's very addicting. I got to the point where I beat the game, and then I kept going back, and I kept linking the cities, and I would do the thing where you got the it was like you could hook up on a thing and it would shoot you over a long distance, like you was on a track. I forget what it was called, and I put them things everywhere, man. So I could it was like I had a giant monorail that went across the thing, and then you got the Jeeps and you got the cars, and you can make the roadways and all that type of stuff. Death Stranding that was a dope game, man. Only Kojima could come up with some shit like Death Stranding, man. I don't think I'm gonna play Death Stranding 2 because I just think I ain't got the time for that. But there's a couple of things that I want to play. South of Midnight looks pretty good. I watched the walkthrough of that, and I kind of want to play that simply to support them, because you don't see too many black games with a black story, with black characters, with a black female lead. You don't see that a lot. So, and it was a great game. Yeah, the zip lines. Yeah, man. Yeah, Pat. Yeah, Death Stranding almost made me want to get a 4K television. Like, it looks that good. But I used to play when I had the original Xbox. I had the original Xbox set up in my living room with a projector, and I would have the projector hooked up to the wall, showing on the wall, and I would play Skyrim for hours. Skyrim and Forza for hours on my wall. My wife used to peek out of the bedroom, and we would look down. She could look down the stairs in the living room, and it'd be 3:00 in the morning, and I'm running around in Skyrim, shouting at dragons and stuff. Oh my God, man. Oh my God, it's crazy. Dragon's Lair and Space Ace, absolutely. I liked Space Ace better than Dragon's Lair, but they were all, you just wanted somebody that was good at it to play so you could watch. Back when they had the laser games coming out. And then I was an anime fan too. So when you had Galaxy Express, a lot of those video games, those laser games came out, and they would just rehash Japanese anime that we hadn't seen in the States. And we were like, what is this? Yeah, man. When I went to Scotland, when I played in the World League, my first year in Scotland, Scotland still had a lot of arcades. Arcades had kind of phased out in the States, but in Scotland, there were always arcades close to the pubs, to the bar. And those arcades were huge, and they had all of because the dance games hadn't really hit in the States yet. That's the one thing I learned when I was in Scotland. The stuff that was happening in Scotland didn't make it to the United States yet. Like, for instance, when me and my wife was over in Scotland, McDonald's had the McFlurry, and it wasn't in the United States yet. So when we got home, my wife goes to McDonald's and wants a McFlurry. They didn't know what the hell she was talking about because it didn't make it over here yet. But we used to go in the arcades. First time I saw Virtual Fighter, a stand-up arcade game. And the same as back here in the States, it would be like 20 people just watching it. Because over there, they would have the big stand-up unit, and on top of it, it was a huge big screen TV. So if you wasn't playing, you could stand back and watch what they were playing, watch what they were doing. Virtual Fighter took over everything back in 95. Remember that? So, yeah, man, bruh, Pat, I could get to talking about that stuff all friggin' night, bro. Ninja Gaiden on the Nintendo NES system. Ninja Gaiden and Ninja Gaiden 2, the originals. First game I ever finished. First game, Ninja Gaiden, and then I had Phantasy Star and Phantasy Star 2. And I finished those. So, I mean, hell, I didn't even finish Final Fantasy 7 because I forgot to get one of the materia and I couldn't do the final Knights of the Round to kill the boss, and I couldn't finish the game. I was pissed. So, but anyways, man, we done went from Brandon Graham and Kay Adams to damn Virtual Fighter. What the hell is going on here? Streets of Rage. Come on, man. You're asking questions we already know the answers to, bro. Yes. Yes, you play Streets of Rage, man. Waiting for that dude to drop that pipe. And then it was gangs, and then it was gangs of girls, and then bikers, and then, yeah, man. Streets of Rage. What's the one? What's the one where you turn into the werewolf? You were the Greek character. It was based on Greek gods and stuff like that. And you would turn into the werewolf or like the lizard dude. And they would do the transformation. I forget what the name of that game. Is it Altered States? I think it was. Altered States. Think it was. Yep. Altered Beast. Absolutely. That's it. Yep. We used to watch people play that game. Altered Beast. Look at that. Yep. Absolutely. I remember that. That's crazy. Altered States is a film. Yes, you're absolutely right. Oh my God, man. Dude, I could go down that rabbit hole. Now they got now you can buy a little arcade unit with a TV built in, and you could buy a little HDMI chip, and it has got like 99 games on it or something goofy like that. Man, the way technology is now is crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Like, let me see if I can find this. I had a I can't find it now. Yeah, I don't know where it is. I found my first Nokia phone in one of these drawers the other day. Flip phone. Yep, at the bowling alley. Thank Jen. Yeah, heck yeah, man. At the bowling alley, bro. At the bowling alley. I'm from Cincinnati, but we moved to St. Louis when I was young, when I was like 8 years old. And that was the thing that, because I mean, you could do this back in the 80s. My dad had me and my sisters. We were in a bowling league, and that's what they would do, so they could go run out and run their errands. They signed us up to a kids bowling league. You bowled 3 games, So they would drop us off at Brunswick Bowl in St. Louis, Missouri, and they would go out and do their shopping. And then when they would, by the time they figured out how long it would take, and then we would they come scoop us up, but they would run their errands without the kids while we were bowling. We got good. To this day, I'm still a pretty good bowler. Mobile port of an old Alien Isolation. Yep. Castle Wolfenstein. Absolutely. All that stuff, man. I'm an old school gamer, man. I like some of the new stuff. Um, the last game that I played, honestly, like I bought y'all can see like Maximum Football. I bought that game on the PC because I wanted to. I had some ideas of trying to implement some video game stuff into my podcast, and that was a game that you could go in and customize teams and helmets and unis, all that stuff. So I still play it every now and then, not as much as I used to because I done gotten so busy doing the cast. I also used to play. I do have Madden. I do have 2K. I don't really play them though. The last game that I can say I really played to completion was Callisto Protocol. Callisto Protocol. Because that was a spiritual successor to what was that game? The horror game. I can't remember. Back in the old days when you could smoke indoors. Callisto Protocol was a in the same universe as, why can't I think of the name of those games? The horror game where you had to fight the aliens. I bought that game because that was a phenomenal game. That was a truly scary game. What was the name of that game? Yep, Callisto Protocol. So I played that one. And what was the name of the stupid game with the marker? The marker caused all the aliens, and the aliens, it was like body armor. Dead Space. Thank you. Dead Space. Yep. Dead Space was probably one of the best horror games ever made, in my opinion. Dead Space was phenomenal. And Callisto Protocol was a spiritual successor to that game. so I still play a few of them. Like I played Mass Effect when I was out, went through that. If you check my Twitter, I talked about a game called Firewatch. I really like story games. The Wolf Among Us is an excellent game. I was hoping season 2 was supposed to come out, but that's probably on the hiatus. Firewatch is a good game. I did not like the ending of this game, but I realized like I was mad. I was legitimately angry the way this game ended. And it took me about a day or two to realize if the ending of the game, the way it was written, has got me that like literally emotionally mad, angry, then it was a good game. I had to take a step back. I was like, if it's got me this hopped up because I didn't like the ending, then it was a good game. Because I was that invested and wanted something different from the main characters. So Circular Saw Gun game. Oh, definitely. You know what? Dead Space and the sequels, all of them were dope. Absolutely. All of them were dope. I had some people ask me that should I do a game channel, either a game channel or a barbecue channel, but I don't know. Game channels take so long to play. I don't have that much time. But at the end of the day, if you want to do something bad enough, you'll find a way to do it. So, yeah, the circular saw gun and the one where it was wide and it would shoot like 4 or 5 lasers and you could cut off limbs. Um, Metal Gears. I don't disagree with you. Um, what was the game where he was with the girl in the bikini that couldn't talk? Quiet. That game was pretty good. Trying to think of like some of the best games that I've ever played. KOTOR is one of the best ever. Ninja Gaiden is one of the best ever. Final Fantasy VII is one of the best ever. A Wolf Among Us is one of the best ever. One of the best stories ever. Soma is a horror game. Soma has, in my opinion, Soma has probably the best ending I've ever seen in a video game. And that's including like KOTOR. Phantom Pain. Yep, that's it. Dishonored. Dishonored is an excellent game. I really love that game. That was the story in that was excellent, both of them. BioShock 1 and BioShock Infinite. I wasn't crazy about 2. BioShock 1 and BioShock Infinite. BioShock 1, at the time, you had never seen anything like that before. Never. So the first BioShock was probably one of the best games I've ever seen. And the story, got to put that up there as one of the best endings ever in a video game. The first BioShock. BioShock Infinite, another great game and another great ending. How they ended that. It got kind of, it was going on a tangent for a minute, but they wrapped it up. BioShock Infinite was phenomenal. But that first BioShock, I remember watching the trailer of that first BioShock, and I was like, wow. One game that I was legitimately hyped to see, and I never ended up playing it, was not Cybershock, Cyberpunk 2077. Because I was hyped when that first trailer came out, and the game came out, and I never bought it. I just never bought it. I guess maybe I got too tired of from playing Death Stranding and a couple of games that take you hours to play, 60 hours and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I should have been all into Cyberpunk, and I just never played it. I started getting into the walkthroughs, like on watching somebody on YouTube play it, and I just never played it. Yeah, BioShock was dope, man. BioShock 1 and BioShock Infinite. And they still hold up to this day. Dishonored is another one. The original Dishonored was phenomenal. Love that game, love that story. I would get Cyberpunk on my computer. I don't play console games. I didn't buy a PS5. We got one for my grandson, but I got sick of waiting. So, and then when we could get it, my wife was like, "Do you want one for Christmas?" I was like, "No. I got a Threadripper in my PC, and I got a GeForce RTX 3080 if I want to play games." I've been seeing GTA 6. I've never been into GTA. It was. I've never been one of them guys that try to be the moral police, but I never forget watching GTA, and I was like, "Yo, this is dope. This is like really dope." And then the dude just walked up, pulled the girl out of the car, and just beat the hell out of her and drove off with her car. I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna leave that alone." Just for whatever reason, I was like, "Ugh." And I got into watching the walkthroughs and the characters and some of the playthroughs and all that type of stuff, and I enjoyed it. But I was like, "I'm not gonna get into it." So, but yeah, a lot of good stuff coming out. A lot of good stuff coming out. But in any case, story mode in HD can't do online. Yeah. Rise to Honor. What's the one they got? What's the one they got now, Jinwoo? Um, the karate game. What's the name of it? Where you got to get through and I guess kind of like find out, and you can once you lose, you can rewind it and keep going back. You get like a medallion or something, and it lets you rewind it a couple times so you could fix your mistakes. But you only got a certain amount of times where you can do that, and you continue to get older. What was that game? Ninja Gaiden. Yeah, Ninja Gaiden was, and when Ninja Gaiden came out on the Xbox, and they kind of re-upped it with the graphics and stuff, that was dope. That was dope. What is the name of that game? What was it? They did an episode on Secret Level on Amazon Prime with the characters of it. Yes, Cody K. I like Prince of Persia too. No. What's the name of that game? What's the Sifu? Sifu is the name of the game. Yep. Sifu. Ninja Gaiden 2 was tight. I remember that. That's when they upped the graphics, and of course, you know, they got the girl with double D's and she doing backflips and killing people with swords. I'm like, yeah, you define the laws of physics. But that was a good game. Yeah, that's what I remember right here. You talking about Ninja Gaiden Black. Both of them were good though, but I'm talking about the original Swords of Chaos joint, 1990 Tecmo. That's what I'm talking about. Shadow of the Colossus was phenomenal. Shadow of the Colossus was like, to me, a precursor to games like Death Stranding. Shadow of Colossus was one of those ones where you would just, I want to watch somebody play. Even now, I could go back and look it up and like, I want to see that. And I'm surprised somebody hasn't. They kind of did with some of the God of War stuff, but that game mechanic and what it would look like now in 4K resolution, I think they got some new games like that. But yeah, Shadow of the Colossus was ahead of its time. Absolutely. This game right here, the original Ninja Gaiden, love it. Absolutely love it. First games that I finished to completion. Love these games. Yeah, you got to watch them, man. I'm big on the walkthroughs. There's a couple channels that I watch. The guy named Hollow. I used to watch Markiplier all the time, and he kind of got into some other stuff. Not realizing he was from Cincinnati. He was from my hometown. And he just blew up. But yeah, Shadow was dope, man. Shadow of the Colossus was dope. I'm trying to think of what some other ones that were just like really, really good. But I bought the I bought the couple years ago. I got the Oculus 2 for Christmas. So I'll play some games in there. And I really didn't like you. I'm tempted to buy the Oculus 3. I'm gonna wait till the price goes down a little bit because I like the technology. I like the technology. God of War games, yeah, God of War was dope. The new ones, I played Ragnarok, but the original God of War with the kid when he first Atreus, not the second one, But the first God of War came out. That game was phenomenal. The writing, the action, the game mechanics, how they made everything. Kratos, Chris Judge playing Kratos. That game was phenomenal. Phenomenal. So you got GTA 4 on your phone. How far have we come with the video games, man? Oh my God. Oh my God. How far have we come with video games? Like what games look like and what you can do on your phone now is incredible. Incredible. Never, I remember I had my computer in college and we were in a football dorm. And this was when Madden came out on the Genesis, the original Madden on the Sega Genesis. And this was my junior year in college. So this would have been 92, 91, 92. And we lived in a football dorm. So I say that meaning that we trusted everybody. So we would leave, go to class, and we wouldn't have to lock our room because you trusted your brothers on the team and never had any problems. So if I had a Genesis and some guys wanted to come in and play football, I would leave. They like, hey Marcus, MT, leave your door open so we can play that Genesis. And I ain't had no problem doing that. And that's what we would do. But I remember my one buddy in there, and me and him, I'll never forget this. We were messing around. I didn't have class that morning. He had class and he skipped class because we was playing Genesis. And he said to me, he said, man, can you imagine if I could be in my room, you could be in your room, and we could actually play each other? And he was like, man, we would never go to class. We just kind of laughed it off. And lo and behold, you get online gaming comes through and World of Warcraft and all of that stuff happens. Ultima Online happens, and the shit just goes through the roof. And I was a big Ultima Online fan. I was a big Warcraft fan. 2, 3, 4 in the morning, and then transition years later to Destiny and Destiny 2, running raids at 2, 3, 4 in the morning, getting done at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. And I got to be at work at 8. Yeah, I had a couple nights like that. Tecmo Bowl 1 and 2, absolutely, dude. They got a couple of games out now in the spirit of Tecmo Bowl that are really, really good. Really good. They're like pixel-based games, so the graphics aren't crazy. Very kind of like down to earth, very made for the iPad and your phone and stuff like that. Really good games too. Yep. Prince of Persia was good. The original Prince of Persia was good. And then you got Assassin's Creed. I was not a Zelda guy. Was not crazy about Zelda. I didn't get into, as an adventure game, I wasn't crazy about Zelda. I was in the Japanese RPGs. So like I said earlier, Phantasy Star 2, Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy was I didn't say I fell in love with Final Fantasy as far as like RPGs, but Final Fantasy was that game where you just devoted, I'm coming home from work at 5 o'clock and I'm on Final Fantasy till like 12, 1 o'clock in the morning. So, but I never really got into Zelda and Link. Nope, didn't do it. Yeah, we already talked about that, Carlos. Ninja Gaiden Black, when they redid it for the Xbox and added the 3D graphics, all that type of stuff. Yeah, good stuff, man. Trying to think of some other ones. Some other like really, really good ones. I'm trying to think like really good games. I said Dishonored. I said Soma. Half-Life. When Half-Life came out, I was not a fan of shooters. I did not like shooters. And I got Half-Life, and Half-Life was the game that turned me on to shooters. Kid Chameleon? I don't remember that. Never heard of that. Kid Chameleon Genesis playthrough. Wow. That's new. That's a new one. I don't remember this one. Huh. Okay, so same type of game. Okay. Kid Chameleon. I don't remember this one, but looks like a bunch of other games with the same type of programming, and they changed the graphics. I didn't know that until I was a grown adult. That's how they made the game. They took the same engine and just put different graphics at it, but it was a bunch of different games that all did the same thing. So uh oddly enough, in maximum football, I have an Eagles team, but it's an amalgamation of everybody. Like I'm on the team, Saquon, so I'm in the backfield with Saquon. Then you got Harold Carmichael and B. Doc and Randall Cunningham, who was my quarterback. I got him in the game. So like I actually have a game. The only thing I don't like about it, and it's not, the game is good, the game is solid. Is it Madden? No. But it's good and I like it. And it hasn't made me want to quit. Let me say it like that. But Uncharted was good, Pat. Absolutely. I made an Eagles team, but it's an amalgamation of a bunch of different people from a bunch of different teams. And I got Jeremiah Trotter playing with Coop and Quignon and all that type of stuff. Jeremiah Trotter and Jeremiah Trotter Jr. playing together. How about that? So, but yeah, man, it was cool. But listen, we've been rocking and rolling for almost an hour 30, man. And I can keep these games going forever. I still wish I had time to play, but I just don't. Dishonored. If you never played Dishonored, man, that game, something special. And you're always looking for video games where you see something that you've never seen before. And Dishonored had a story, it had the look, everything was different, and it was a great game. Borderlands was pretty fun. Borderlands was pretty fun. Yep. So, but all right, man, we done went from. I didn't even get to do my mock draft. Let's do a mock real quick while we're here, just so I can get one in. That way we ain't got to talk about video games all night. All right, so let's go. Give me the Eagles. We're gonna run through it. We're gonna do solo draft. Let's go. Let's see what we got. All right. We have 3 trade offers for our 32nd pick. Yeah, Dishonor was hard, bro. The New York Giants want to give us 34 and pick 99 for our 32 and pick 165. That's actually a good trade. What's next? Cincinnati wants to give us pick 49, a second and a third round for the 2026 draft. The Rams want to give us pick 90 and pick 101 and 3 picks in 2026. That would be a really good deal. The most logical deal would be this one. The New York Giants. So, but I'm not taking that. So I'm going to reject that. I'm going to reject that. And I'm going to reject that. And who are we going to take? Defense, edge. James Pierce Jr. is available. I am taking James Pierce Jr. Stop playing with me. I'm going to take that. Who's at 64? 86 and a third rounder in 2026? Nope. Let's hide this. Let's look for a defensive tackle. TJ Sanders, Alfred Collins, Omar Norman Lott. Shamar Turner is available. I like Shamar Turner, but TJ Sanders from South Carolina, 6'3", 297, 9.38 on the RAS score. Pretty good. So we're going to take that defensive tackle from South Carolina. Yeah. Pierce is the only one that I can see Howie moving up to get. I can see that. 96 and 168. We are at pick 96. Let's go safety. Bowman from Oklahoma. Malachi Moore. Jalen Reed is available. Billy Bowman is available. What's Billy Bowman's stats? 5'9" at safety? Nope. You already know what I like on size. 6'0", 206. Jonas Sanker. You know what? I'm going Jalen Reed. He's there. I like him. I'm taking him. I just forced Brandon Graham to stay retired. Malachi Moore still available? Yeah. Yeah. We got who we got who we got. Let's go cornerbacks. Let's go a swing guard. Jackson Slater from Sacramento State. Oh shit. Tight end. Ugh. Forgot about the tight ends, man. I'm gonna take this kid from Texas Tech. Jalen Conyers. I like him. I'm taking him. Really? Jalen Moore? Interesting. Why? Why, Alex? Did something come out? Did he get injured? Something like that? Man, we got sheesh. Why did his projection go down? Like what happened with him? Something must have happened, but you know, when you see all this stuff going on with Shador, that people don't know what they're talking about. They trying to make shit up. So let me see. We just got a wide receiver today, so I'm not doing that. Give me another offensive tackle. Give me a big boy from Dalton Cooper. I think we got 2 more picks. I had Fannin Jr. Fannin is the guy from Bowling Green, correct? I skipped on him because I don't think he's good, but if you're gonna play tight end in the NFL, I need you to be a little bit bigger than that. So I like Ferguson. I mean, if we get Fannin, he's an athlete, and then it comes down to are we going to use him like the athlete that he is? That's the other thing. You got to go to a team with those type of skills. A couple of mocks, I ended up getting Mason Taylor instead of Fannin. But I know Fannin Jr. he's a beast. But I just want him to be a little bit bigger because Dallas Goedert's probably not coming back. But I need somebody that can block at the NFL level. And Fannin Jr. is not big enough, in my opinion. If you're going to use him as a receiver, kind of do what the Chiefs did with Kelsey, then yes. But for our offense, they're not going to use him like that. Well, I can't say that. It's not fair for me to say that because the offensive coordinator is different this year. So maybe he would use it. I don't know. But I usually skip him because he's fast, but he's not very big. And I'm all about our bread and butter with the Philadelphia Eagles is our line of scrimmage. Our offensive line is the best in the business, and we can't take a step backwards. Now that we got Saquon here, we cannot take a step backwards. You got to maximize that production every year you got him because you never know what's going to happen. So we got to have a tight end that can block. And my question is, can Fannin Jr. block at the NFL level? I know he can catch the ball. I know he's fast, and I know he can run routes. But can he, when he gets hands on you, is he going to win the battle of physics? That's what I want to know. If he has to go up against an edge or God forbid, a D tackle slides outside to a wide, is he going to be able to take that? I want somebody just a little bit bigger. Just a little bit bigger. I do like him though. I just don't, I'm not crazy about his size. Yeah. 241, runs a 4.7. He's fast as all get out. But at 240, and you going up against somebody that's 250, 260? Well, I mean, if we get him, I'm good with that. But it all depends on how. Now, when you say stuff like that, Tiff, some of the things you got to take into consideration. How, again, remember what I told you about being in lockstep. All the coaches got to be facing the same direction. And the message on what type of team you want has to be clear. So if we got coaches that like Fannin Jr., that means they know how he can be used to maximize his potential, which means that's got to be implemented in the offense. Now, if we got that, if that coach has that type of pull in our offense right now, then I absolutely get him. Absolutely get him. But you have to be absolutely clear that we are going to be able to use him the way he needs to be used. We have to be able to do that. Or you get him and sign some free agent or some vet that's got a couple years under his belt, and we're not using him to take the top off. This is the guy that we're going to put in the game. He's part of this package, and we need a blocking tight end, so we bring this other guy in the game. You can do that too. The only problem is that means that every time that Harold Fannin Jr. comes in the game, everybody knows it's a pass play. So there's a little bit of strategy involved in it too. And can you get him to the point where he is an adequate blocker? And I'm saying adequate, not a good blocker, not a great blocker. You have to be an adequate blocker. We got Saquon back there. All you need is to get your back between you, the defender, and the ball carrier. Saquon will do the rest. Can he do that? That's the question. Then you take it one step further. Can he do that based on the competition we got in the NFC East and everybody that's on our schedule? Looking at the NFC East first. Who are your edges in New York? Who are your edges in Washington? Who are your edges in Dallas? Is he going to be able to hold his own if Micah Parsons slides up and is on his outside shade and the ball is coming his way? Can he hold his own? Those are the questions that we got to answer with Fannin Jr. Now, I'm sure he's blocked before, and I got to watch some more tape on him. But, if we got a coach that's going to figure out a way to use him the way he was being used at Bowling Green, I'm all for it. But that's a big if. That's a huge if. So I like Elijah Arroyo. I like Tyler Warren. I like Ferguson. Where's the other guy? Terrence Ferguson from Oregon. 6'5", 247. Maybe I was wrong about Fannin Jr. Mason Taylor. Because they're roughly around the same size. And for whatever reason, I pegged him as much smaller. That's Jason Taylor's son. $251, okay. I thought Fannin was lighter than this. For some reason, I had him like at 230 or something like that. I was like, there's no way that's going to be big enough. But we'll see. We'll see. He's an Ohio boy, so I'm good with that. So, I mean, yeah, if we have the opportunity to get Fannin Jr., let's get him. Let's get him. I'm going to watch some more tape on him and, take a shot. Take a shot with him. So, all right, we've been rocking for about an hour and 34 minutes. We got our mock draft in. It was not bad. We got James Pierce Jr., we got TJ Sanders, and we got Jalen Reed at safety. That's a good draft. That's a good draft. Marcus Tate, Jalen Conyers, Holland Pierce, Cody Simon, and Dalton Cooper. That's a pretty decent draft, if I may say so. I don't know if James Pierce is going to fall to us. And if I'd have got a tight end second, I probably could have got Mason Sanders or maybe Fan. Let's do another one just to see how it'll. Let's see if we can do the same thing. All right. New York trying to do the same thing, but let's see. Defense, edge. Landon Jackson. Defensive tackle. Tyleek Williams. Safeties. Xavier Watts, Makuba. Edge. Landon Jackson. So see, now it's different. So let's go D tackle first on this one. And do you want to go Tyleek Williams? Kenneth Grant? Sanders? Sanders had a he looks good, man. But let's take the best on the board. Let's go Tyleek Williams from Ohio State. And then let's see if we can get Mason Taylor. See if let's go tight end. Harold Fanning is available, so let's grab him. Let's grab him. Excuse me. Now let's go defensive edge. We want to go edge or safety? Jalen Reed is still available. I don't want a 5'9" safety. I'm sorry. Who's next? All right, Tiff. We'll be up out of here in a minute. I wish I could just press it and let it go. But yeah, we get up on out of here. I'll finish this later. Good conversation tonight. We went all over the place. We went video games, Brandon Graham, Eagles, my history, my sisters. We talked about everything, man. So I'm gonna get up out of here. Working on some new stuff, working on some new graphics and things of that nature. I'll probably be with y'all tomorrow night, probably around 8, 9 o'clock again. So we'll see. It'll probably be some more breaking news come through tomorrow. So we'll see what we see. But appreciate everybody jumping on. Carlos, Tiffany, Alex, everybody in the chat, man. Appreciate you. We're going to have to talk the games again, man. That was fun. That was definitely fun. So I'm going to get up out of here. Y'all be safe. I love you. God loves you. And I will see you next time. Peace and go Birds.